Welcome back to a brand new episode of In My Humble Opinion, brought to you by Unfiltered Media. And I'm glad you guys are able to join us for a brand new episode.
Yes, sir.
And also before I start, I want to give a quick shout out to the first season 2 guest, Michael Badajo. He's an NFL draft prospect, and he's getting traction from multiple different teams. 49ers, Panthers, the Colts. Like, there's multiple teams that's hitting on my boy. So he might show up really well for HBCUs on draft night. So
real, man.
Big shout out to him, man.
Represent.
And speaking of heavy hitters, I keep telling folks, I'm going to bring nothing but those guys all year. And this guy right here, he's a professional basketball player and the owner of his own business.
Come on, man.
And if that ain't heavy, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Oh, man. Are we lifting weights or what?
Not really, apparently.
Man.
Ain't lifting like that. Come on now. But this brother right here, I've been excited to have this man on the show to talk about his journey. Terry Johnson Jr., everybody. Welcome to the show.
Man, how's everybody doing? Nice to meet everybody. Nice to see everybody. Nice to see some, familiar faces. My boy Will, man, good to see you, man. Hey, it's good to see my boy Will doing this thing, tapping back in, Like, we've always kind of, kept in touch. Actually, my boy did a interview for me at the Fondy back in the day, a couple years back when I was hooping, man, and I definitely remember that. So it's good to be back tapped in with my man and see him still doing this thing and getting his grind on. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
Man, absolutely, brother. And now thinking back, it's been like, what, 3, almost 4 years since then? This time going by stupid.
It has, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Time just blows by, man. But I was thinking back to that, and I was like, yo, because that was really my first time really just on the professional scene like that. So that's what even made it more kind of special for me. And to have the opportunity to, get that like interview feel and stuff from you, that's definitely something I remember. So, it's definitely good to see you still doing your thing, man, for sure.
Man, absolutely, man. Just trying to work hard every day. But when it comes to working hard, there was plenty of times where we sent messages to each other. I heard the machine go out in the background trying to put your clothing brand out. So if you want to talk about hard work.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, man. So as my man said, my name's Terry Johnson. So my initials are TJ, and I just kind of had a vision for the brand kind of maybe like 5 years ago, but I never really like had the like courage to go about it. And so, just like with the right people and, with the right push from God, obviously, and just, expanding my faith a bit, I just decided to just tap into the journey because obviously like everybody has their own journey. So for me, like that's what makes it extremely significant. And I'm just trying to like get that message out to everyone is just to embrace their journey and like no matter what comes along the path, big or small, no matter what tries to throw bumps along the road, I always say just embrace the journey because the ultimate journey is the destination, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you just gotta continue at it at all times, man.
So when I look through your website, your clothing brand's motto is the more the adversity, the better the journey.
Absolutely.
Terry, describe your adversity to me and what you've been through.
Man, so like I've been through adversity in just quite a few different areas. I mean, like for me, the most significant obviously would be basketball because that's held the most valued true part of my life aside from like my daughters. But yeah, basketball has been like the biggest part of my life. And so, man, I faced a lot of adversity in basketball. Just what I felt was a lot of politics in some regards. I mean, but like it happens in the business world. It happens in all phases of life. So, I mean, like to me, just having to navigate those things and having to, you know what I'm saying, try to just move politically correct through just different situations. I learned a lot through that. And of course, every hooper's ultimate goal is to go to the NBA, or at least most hoopers' goal is to go to the NBA. But for me, man, it became a reality that like not everybody can do so, obviously. So I finally began to not take it as like a downside, you know what I mean? And I started to just be able to embrace, my journey and my path and what God had for me, which obviously wasn't the NBA, and that's fine. But it allowed me to really tap into myself and who I am and what I really wanted to do.
Right.
So in that regard, I just say, even with the clothing brand, man, I when I first started, I was having some trouble kind of really getting things going because I was having somebody else make my clothes and things of that nature. So it was just a process, there was a couple months where I really wasn't doing anything with the brand, and I was really discouraged because I didn't have somebody making my clothes, and I didn't have the knowledge to do so. Which obviously then prompted me to finally buckle down and decide there's no handouts out here. Nobody's just gonna give me anything. So with that being said, and the help of my friend Meg, shout out my girl Meg, what I'm saying, she really helped me like expand this vision. She was making my clothes at first, and which this is her product here.
It's pretty fresh, dog. It's pretty fresh. I like it.
I appreciate it. So yeah, man, she started helping me out, and then from then on, I've been able to just start doing my own thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a really exciting process, bro, to say the least. And yeah, man, that's why I always just say, you know what I'm saying, the more adversity, the better the journey. Like, because at the end of the day, what I genuinely feel is that adversity builds character. So that's just me.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Absolutely. And about the NBA thing, there was a lot of guys I came across that played overseas for all their career, and they're still nicer than some people in the league. So I feel like that's not the end all be all not going to the NBA, because the politics is sneaky. I mean, there's a lot of guys I've seen like go through trials and stuff, and the coach doesn't, favor them as much as you could tell from the jump. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but
absolutely
everything happens for a reason, man.
Indeed, it does.
So, and when I was doing a little research on you, I found an old video back in 2010 when you were hooping for the Ultimate Hoop League or something.
Oh, that boy went and did some research. Oh,
and
man.
you played against this one team called the Penetrators, pause. And it was when I heard that was so funny. But
now, see, that's one of those things, man, that I wish, it's funny, man. That was an experience I gained as a young jit, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to really get my feet wet, like on the interview scene. And I thought it was a really cool atmosphere they provided, you know what I'm saying, doing the whole thing. The names of some of the teams were extremely hilarious, man. And I'll say, but it was a great experience, especially because I was young. That was my graduating year. I was a senior in high school. So like it was cool to kind of be able to get that feeling of what I would feel like doing an interview and going to the next level and trying to be professional on that stage. So it was fun, man. Like, but yeah, it was the Penetrators. That's one of those videos you kind of wish could go away, man. But that's funny, man.
No, okay. Quick little side question: what is the craziest team name you ever came across? Because back when I was a kid, I played this team called the Blowouts, and you know what's weird about that? They were the worst team. They were the worst team in the conference.
Yes, so and then actually calling themselves the Blowout. That's funny, man. So I just. For me, oh man, I've gone across some. You know what? One of the craziest ones that just kind of had made me question. What was it, man? What's Ranger? Ranger has. I'm trying to remember. Was it Ranger? It was some school, man. I went against in junior college, and they had a weird mascot name, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was an animal, bro. It was like the craziest thing. Like, and then we looked it up and it was some extremely foreign animal or something. But I was just like, why is that y'all's mascot? It was like the weirdest thing. But the Penetrators thing, that's pretty weird. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that was maybe I got their angle, but by like penetrating to the basket, I guess. But I think that could have been misconstrued a little bit, man.
I bet anybody looking at that video probably thought it was crazy. But
yeah, that's
the one thing that stuck out to me the most about that video, and it was literally a young Terry before the dreads, before the beard, just a young grizzled cat just trying to get his feet wet in the game. So how would you describe your journey back in the past, looking at that video to where you are now?
Man, I'd have to just say, I always try to just keep the same perspective in regards to just, like I said, just being professional and trying to just also just be me and be as authentic as possible at all times. But I think just one of the biggest things that I've adapted to most is just comfortability, really, and I think just tapping into who I really am, right? So like
Right.
I think, back then, of course, obviously we all went through the stage of like learning ourselves and things of that nature and trying to figure out who we are and which direction we want to go in life and stuff like that. And so I always knew I wanted to be on the basketball scene and be around, like, even if I didn't go to the NBA, be around the
Mhm.
basketball scene, like now, make clothes for NBA players and stuff like I've been able to begin doing. And it's an exciting process. So I just, for me personally, I think just comfortability, man, and just being true to who I am, and just remaining humble and just trying to keep God first in everything I do, man. But yeah, ultimately, I think just comfortability, man, and just staying true to the game, brother.
Absolutely. And I remember when I first seen you play in the next pro league, the biggest thing that stuck out to me was your intensity on the court. You didn't back down from nobody. And you played against multiple NBA guys, Daniel House, Jonathan Simmons. Like you stared them down and still play with that extreme intensity that you carry. So what do
Absolutely.
you, so what do you crave about the competition in the court?
Man, oh, that's such a crazy question, bro. It gives me chills that you even asked me that. I'm gonna be real, bro. Cause like, man, like it was such an honor like to play against those guys, bro. And it still is an honor to even be able to say I played against those guys and competed against those guys. So especially, them being from Houston, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
that's one of the things for me is that like I just it was such an humbling experience. And so the thing that stood out most to me about that was just like I've always kept that same mentality. And that's what I mean, bro. Like I haven't always been like the tallest guy and all this stuff. So like I just, for me, I always had to have that edge. Like I've always been like just this skinny kind of frail dude, like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times that can be taken for granted on the court, you know what I'm saying? So like you gotta have that killer mentality. You gotta be like had that like Kevin Durant mindset, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
As the Slim Reaper, and just be able to go out there and just show people who you really are, you know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
for me, bro, that's why like I took that so seriously, and I had such an edge on the court when I played against those guys, because I knew like it was just such an opportunity, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
ultimately I wanted to gain those guys respect. Like that was the major thing, man. Like that was my first year like being able to be on that type of platform, and I was like, man,
Mhm.
I'm not going out like a scrub, you know what I'm saying? So like, and ultimately, man, I've gained genuine relationships since then, man. That's the
Mhm.
main thing. Like those guys respected my grit and my hustle since then, and those guys were, just like become some of my like biggest mentors and best friends. Like Daniel House, man, that's one of my toughest guys. So you know what I'm saying. So shout out to D House. So yeah,
Fact.
man, it's just
Fact.
it's just one of those things where it goes back to the first question you asked me about just remaining true to yourself and remaining who you are. Like when I
Mhm.
first played them, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't sweet. Like I was talking noise, and they didn't like me. They like, who is this guy? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's
But
funny that you said that too because you were talking a lot of trash, but as a basketball player, that brings out the best out of people. Like when you
it
talking
does.
jive with somebody, like it just gets your
It gets the
damn.
blood going, bro. It just gets the blood going. And I just feel like any person with real like ambition and real grit and like passion about what they're doing is gonna have some type of, you know what I'm saying? Like even
Right.
with what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be a night where you're going hard, you're going heavy, grinding, bro, and like software crashes or something goes wrong, and you're just like,
Memory card's
dang.
filling up.
You
That's
know
the
what I'm
number
saying? You
one
just like, dang. So it's just one of those things where like if you're passionate about something, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna exhibit, or I'm sorry, exhibit that
thing.
passion. So it's just one of those things, man. Like I'm passionate about everything I do, because like one of the things my dad taught me is just like if you're not gonna be passionate about it, then You know what I'm saying? Like, why waste your time with it? You know what I'm saying? So that's just one of the values I always try to hold true to me, for sure.
So when it comes to hooping, I mean, as you mentioned, you played against a lot of top guys. So I have to ask you this: what was the toughest situation you ever been in a basketball game?
Oh, okay. So I'd have to say it probably was that Fondy League. I'll be real, and that's what made it so crazy because we were playing. Okay, so we were playing Jonathan Simmons, D'Angelo Harrison, Joe Young. You know what I'm saying?
I remember that exact game, bro.
Yeah, bro. So like PJ, of course, is on that team. Like literally all professional hoopers. So like it's me and my closest boy Dante, of course, you know, and we were just like in it together and we were just going at it. You know what I'm saying? And it came down to the last possession. The crowd was going crazy. And I mean, this was one of those games, bro, where when I tell you like it had a different feel than like even what I feel like an NBA game would have because it was such a personal, you know what I'm saying? Like it was such a personal thing. And it was so much noise leading up to that game that like I'm not gonna lie, I was talking noise. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So I knew I had to perform. But long story short, man, it was the last possession. I'm guarding. We had played a heck of a game, man, and I'm guarding Jonathan Simmons, man. The last possession coming down court, I'm staring him in his eyes. He's staring at me, and he's looking at me like lunch, like just lunch. And I'm like, oh shoot, man, what have I done? So I'm like, man, like he literally starts posting me up like Jay Sims does, like you know, using his body, and I'm like, oh man. And so he literally like backed out a little bit. My heart's beating. I'm like, oh man, the clock's running down, bro. Like he literally hits me with like a little crossover. I kind of bid a little bit and he hit a midi right over me. Just what professionals do. And like I just, man, of course, I mean, we got tried to hurry up, get the ball out, shoot a half court shot, and you know what I'm saying, buzzer. We lost by like 1 or 2, I think. But man, that game and just the field that I feel like that game we faced a lot of adversity too, just because of the caliber of players we were playing and some of the calls weren't going our way. And it was just one of those things, you know what I'm saying? So it was such a great experience. So I'd have to say, man, like, and I've been through a lot of basketball experiences, but that one right there, just as far as, you know, the way the crowd was, it was packed in all the stands and like behind both goals, you know what I'm saying? Right. You remember, so it was just and it was I think it was like the playoff game. It was like our first round playoff game, and
I believe it was.
And that's what made it the craziest thing was we had the opportunity to play them the first round, and we knew it wouldn't be easy, but we also knew we had the opportunity to put them out and make a name for ourselves in the first round, and so. Yeah, that's what just made that game so crazy, man. So you know, man,
you brought back a lot of memories for me during that summer because that was my first year working with the Next Pro League, and just and just to see the environment, like the crowd, all the NBA players, they like it was just a brand new, fresh experience. It was like, man, like this game. It gets super intense, bro. That's why it's about it. It's just
yeah, man. And then that's what I loved about them because they made sure that they gave that atmosphere and that vibe. Like they had the music playing. It was like a real pro in them, you know. So it was just an exciting feeling as a player for it to be, as I'm sure it was, like you said, as a videographer and as a content creator to sit there and be around something like that and to be a part of that atmosphere. It was a great thing. Great thing.
What's crazy to me is about that league, the Next Pro League. Last year when I was working with them, I saw a couple of guys like you know a lot of kids like they watch Ball's Life and mixtapes growing up. I saw about 3 cats at the Next Pro League that I looked at a lot growing up, and some of them being the Harrison twins. And it's still crazy to me because I'm able to interact with these guys, become cool, you know, develop relationships, and it's just like, man.
Yeah, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like genuine relationships, bro. Like stuff that just you know what I'm saying? You can't get those relationships like from anywhere else except experiences like that, like real personal experiences, relationships that you really just can't get from anywhere else. And that's what makes it all worth the while. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, these are people that I'm able to still tap in with and ask for advice and, you know, get tidbits from still going forward along in life. So guys that have already walked that path. So it's definitely definitely something that I hold near and dear to my heart is those experiences, man. And like I said, that's when, I first met you. So you know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I always keep close to me, man.
Absolutely. And speaking of relationships, when I was going through your page a little bit, I saw that you were close friends with the late great Xavier Robinson. And I remember when I first pulled up to the next pro league, and it was my second game watching. I saw Xavier play, and one thing that really was nice, man, like his body control in the air. Like he was the type of player that could kill you in all different ways, and his body control reminded me of Kyrie in the air because he knew how to adjust, make the right plays. And
I couldn't have even think of a better comparison, bro. Honestly, it's crazy. Like he's probably the closest person that I've seen like in real life, like near Kyrie. Like
it's nuts. And I told him that when I interviewed him, and he was surprised too. And the thing that just really stuck out with me is, as soon as I heard he passed away, I learned that he was a musical artist. Like he was a rapper. I didn't even know that. So
man,
it brought me. It brought me. Like it gave me a greater impression on him because he's multifaceted in what he does. Like he doesn't stick to one thing, just like you with your business. So how would you describe your friendship with him and how far you guys go back?
Man, bro, like that's literally my brother, bro. And listen, that's one of those genuine bonds that I'm describing to you right now. Like I met X when I started coming around the professional guys at the pro-am, and like from there, he was one of those guys that I just gravitated to, like you said, just because of the way he carried himself, and he was just a different kind of like guy. Like he was just different. So like I was picking his brain about the basketball side of things and stuff like that, and he would always like mentor me. Like he legitimately kind of took me under his wing and just like always would be like, Terry, like you need to be doing this or do this, do that. And another thing I always picked his brain about was his brand, Long Way. You know what I'm saying? And like shout out Long Way, shout out X, man, and everybody who knows X and loves X, man. He was such a great just guy, like just a genuine person. And I'll be honest, he and I had talks about his brand. Like I picked his brain a lot about what it meant to him and why he started his brand, and it's one of the biggest catalysts as to why I started my brand. Like he and my other boy Monte, which has a brand called Hoops Over Politics. So those two guys, and of course JB, we some workers, shout out JB, you know what I'm saying? But these guys are like the pioneers for like why I had the courage and the wherewithal to go on ahead and start my brand. And so like Long Way, man, of course it's pretty much self-explanatory. You know what I mean? Like it's the long way. It's like you taking the long way, no shortcuts, you know what I mean? And like for me, that meant a lot to me because like I knew that I had a vision for, like I said, the journey and him. It was kind of like a real correlation, like, you know what I mean? And he and I had talks about doing like collaborations if I ever started a brand, and he promised me that collab. And so like that's one of the things that makes me sad is that I never got to, work with him in that light and maybe put out some fire clothes and stuff. But I'm hoping that like one day, like I'm gonna do a shout out or like a tribute to him. It's one of the things that that I just keep near and dear to me because it makes me sad that we didn't get to make those clothes. But like I said, I hope to be able to get a collab with him. And I mean, it's really just a shout out thing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I won't get to collab personally with him on that, but I'm definitely gonna make a shirt like probably on the day, like highlighting the day he passed or whatever, one of these days, and I'm just gonna, it's gonna be a shout out shirt to him, man, just because he's one of the people who I definitely miss on this earth as a human, man. He was like legitimately, he was Kyrie for us on the court, Will, and you can probably attest to this, but he was like our Nipsey. He was like our Houston's Nipsey. Like, you know what I mean? He was a real like just leader, a real leader and a real pioneer for everything that he did. And he stood 10 toes down on everything that he did and that he talked about. So I just really respected that guy, man, and I miss that guy.
Nah, facts. R.I.P. Xavier, man. He left a real imprint in the city. That's one thing I learned, like talking to multiple people, just seeing like his impact is visible and you can feel it. So
Man,
rest in peace, man. Rest in peace to him, man.
for sure, man.
And it's funny that you brought up Nipsey too, because you know his clothing brand, the Marathon, you know, X's, the Long Way, yours, the Journey. It's always teaching.
That's why you my boy. That's why you my boy.
It's teaching folks to play the long game, and nothing just happens fast. Like it takes a journey to get to where you at. So, how important would you say is the emphasis of playing the long game to all these young entrepreneurs out there trying to get started?
Man, I think it's the number one imperative thing, because like it's easy for you to detour and be swayed by different narratives. Like that is, you know, not everything is an overnight success. I know we see some things that seem to go, maybe these days go viral overnight and then these people blow up and stuff like that. But it just doesn't, realistically, it doesn't happen like that for everyone, you know? And so for me, I try to tell the young guys, like I mentor a lot of guys. I actually have an AAU team full of guys out in San Antonio. Shout out to Trilogy. Those are my young bulls, man. But yeah, a lot of these guys that I have to talk to and try to like mentor along the way and try to get them to understand these exact principles, like you say, right? And so the long way, man, the journey, the marathon, it all goes hand in hand, like you said. And that's another thing that kind of, like I said, inspired me because of Nipsey, and because like everybody likes to tell me that I remind them a lot of Nipsey, and that like just my intellectual views on a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, highlight a lot of things that like remind them of Nipsey. And so for me, it was crazy. It was almost like a revelation that I wanted to name my brand that. It was just straight confirmation. It was like, I got to keep this going. And so, man, I'm getting chills even thinking about it. The fact that like we lost both of those guys, right? Like Nipsey and X, it's like I just almost feel like it's my divine purpose to keep that going. You know what I'm saying? Until the day I leave here. So that's just something that I'm trying to really imprint on guys is, man, like the long way, the journey, no shortcuts. It like I said, it's easy to take shortcuts in life, man, but like the long road is always the most prosperous one for certain. You know what I mean? So like, so I really try to stress that narrative and make these guys understand that, man, like
it's really important, bro.
Yeah, the long way is the most fulfilling for certain. So that's my take on that, man.
And I could really attest to that, because everything that I'm doing right now, like that UFM logo on top of you, that's my media company. Well, me and my friend's media company. And our biggest goal in the future is to create our own personal network where we create news, we have podcasts, we produce videos, you know,
right? A whole entity of different things.
Whole nine, bro. And every time I explain to people about the dream, like they don't fully understand it because they never heard of somebody with a broadcast journalism degree going on his independent route. I'm no disrespect to people that works in a broadcast news or reporter, and they're really some of my best homies, but I see myself doing a lot more for this field, because from what Unfiltered Media already accomplished, like we were featured on Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated, Complex, just for producing news. So I keep telling folks all the time, like this stuff is probably not going to blow up for me until like I'm in my mid 30s, 40s. But I already know that.
And see, some people don't understand. And see, that's why I was going to piggyback off of what you just said, and what you just said is key. Some people don't understand, but that's one of the major things that I learned in life is it's not for everybody to understand. Like not everybody's going to understand your journey and your vision, but it's going to be such a testimony for yourself and for everyone else when you get there. And then you're able to explain that journey and that process and what it took for you to get there. You know what I mean? Because like, for you trying to be like the pioneer and be one of the first people to expand and do it in the light that you're trying to do it in, that's major. You know what I mean? And so like like I said, kudos to you. And that's one of the things that I've always respected about you also is, you know what I'm saying, your professionalism and your take on what you're doing. You've always, you know what I'm saying, kept it real business professional and real business savvy in everything that you've done. And I just respect that. So yeah, so like shout out to you, shout out to UFM, you know what I'm saying? Y'all boys keep doing y'all's thing, man. And you know what I'm saying? I definitely want to see y'all succeed, and you know what I'm saying? So we can sit back and like smoke a cigar and have a glass of wine and talk about this in a couple years, you know what I'm saying? Because you and I've been kind of just along the journey together, you know what I'm saying? Like since the pro-am. So, you know, it's been just a cool thing, man.
Man, absolutely. And shout out to the people that's getting it the long way, going on their marathon, you know, going through their own journey. Shout out to all of them, man, because those are the people that's going to get rewarded the most at the end.
Come on.
That's all facts, bro. So I want to ask you, throughout your whole life in basketball, you know, going through your clothing brand, who would you say is your most influential mentor that helped you out the most?
I'm gonna just have to say it's not even, it's, you know, it's no question, it's a no-brainer. Like of course obviously God, but as we're talking about some like a physical entity that's here with us, man, my father, man, he is the ultimate GOAT, right?
Right.
And if I could share the title with between my father and my mother, I absolutely would, because those two, I'll just say my parents. How about that? My parents, man,
Right.
those two are the two that like really shaped my future and molded me to be the man that I am today. And I'll just say I just appreciate them for just staying on me and not letting me you know, go astray. I know that these days, like it's hard out here because you know what I'm saying, a lot of homes are broken, and it saddens me. It saddens me. It, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, especially just because like even for me, like I'm not with my daughters every day, right? So it's not something I grew up seeing. It's not something I'm accustomed to. But at the end of the day, it's what God laid out for me in my journey and my path. So it's something that it's built me as a man. It's building me daily, man. Like because obviously, you know, any man that cares and wants to be around their children, man, you know, that's one of those things, like,
Absolutely.
like, you know, it bothers you. But at the end of the day, like I said, it builds character. It makes me go harder for them, man. It's one of the major reasons why I wake up every day and go so hard, you know what I'm saying, to create a better future for them and to create, you know, a better path, you know, for them than I had, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, that's just one of those things, man, you know? So you know, what can I say? What can I say, man? It's just all a part of life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And what was one situation that you had to go through that your parents had to give you like an extra uplifting or give you some big time advice? Like, what was the situation you've been through that they helped you out the most in a tough spot?
I'd have to say, and I know this is cliche, but like, bro,
Absolutely.
my life, bro, like my whole entire life, bro. There's no one specific moment, Brody. I'll tell you this though. Navigating this, what I was just highlighting, just not being able to be with my daughters, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest things I can say that they've just walked with me through, and really helped me to be able to understand how things work and how I need to, you know what I'm saying, just continue to try to be the man, the father that I need to be from a distance, you know what I'm saying? Because man, we all fail out here, man. You know what I'm saying? I fall short. We all fall short every day. So I definitely
perfect in this world.
Absolutely. So I have my moments of weakness, man, where you know what I'm saying. Of course, like I'm just bitter about the situation, and you know, I might just want to be like closed off about it. But I have to keep at the forefront that like my daughters are the ultimate. You know what I'm saying? The ultimate importance. Like they're who I'm doing it for. So I can't be shut off because of my feelings. You know, for them. So I have to continue to be strong and be the man that they need me to be, man. So I have to put my feelings and my pride to the side and still take care of that, man. So that's one of the biggest things that I say they help me learn and understand, man. It's just to you know, no matter what adversity you face, just to continue to navigate it, you know what I'm saying, and keep God in front of everything, and it'll work itself out, you know.
Well, I know one thing's for sure though, you a hell of a role model.
Man,
you could show your family that you could not be limited to one thing. You could expand your options, and that's one thing a lot of people don't understand. You don't have to be conforming to one thing your whole life. Life is meant to experience different things.
straight up.
Have different mindsets. Get different perception of what people are thinking. It's what it's supposed to be. But you are a great role model so far, bro. So
I appreciate
definitely
it,
don't worry about
man. I appreciate it. And piggybacking off of what you just said, like you got to be open and willing to like understand different perspectives in life. Like, of course, I was once a kid and I didn't always understand the teachings my father was trying to tell me. But becoming a dad of my own, I just appreciate those values more. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Right.
helped me understand that he was so hard on me because he just wanted what's best for me. And so.
Mhm.
Ultimately it's helped me gain different perspectives, you know what I'm saying, and understand, how to really just try to, be the best version of yourself out here on a day-to-day basis, man. So I
Right.
appreciate that compliment though, man. That means a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. No doubt. And I want to go back to what you said earlier about cultivating relationships. When I was scrolling through your IG, I see you were plugged in with like a lot of prominent people. You were posted with some guys on the Rockets, Jalen Green, Ron Hollins, Jay Gupp, a
Yeah,
lot of young guys, man. So how did you guys get to know each other and how did that relationship develop?
man. So it really all started because of my boy Brandon McKelvey. I don't know if you know Brandon McKelvey. He went to U of H. He's a younger cat. But what's crazy is
I'm good with faith.
y'all remind me a lot of each other. And what's actually even crazier is he has a podcast as well, right?
Oh,
So
really? Oh,
yeah,
what's it called?
it's called Be in Your Lane. Be in Your Lane.
Be in your lane. I'm
Be
definitely
in
writing
Your
that
Lane.
down.
Yeah, because his name's Brandon, so it's like Be in Your Lane podcast, and it's a dope little thing. You should definitely check it out. And I
Okay.
think you and B will vibe, like, cause no cap, like y'all are literally like y'all are similar guys. So I rock with y'all.
Oh,
But
wow.
it started with B, man. He has a connect. He used to be an intern with the Rockets. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
he took me to a Rockets game and really showed me love. And man, it was such a great experience because I got to be courtside. I got to
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, I got to experience all the stuff that, like, you know what I'm saying, like a hooper would just love, like being up close
Yeah.
and personal with these guys, like in the locker room after the game, like chopping it up with them. I got to go to the media stand, you know what I'm saying, and like,
The post game room.
yeah,
Yeah.
the post game room, and see what the vibe was like in there to do post game interviews. So that was cool, and it was like a first hand experience, bro. And like, so that is when it began. The first time I went, I met Jay Gupp and I met Jay Green, and it was cool. Those are some real cool, humble, just down to earth cats, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I respect that about them because that's one of the hardest things to be. And like when you're on that platform, you know what I'm saying, and you a
Right.
young guy, you making all this money, so you know what I'm saying. I just respect that about them. Like they were real cool, you know what I'm saying. I chopped it up with them, obviously, you know what I'm saying. Got their
Yeah.
contact, so now like obviously I'll be chopping it up with them and stuff. And obviously it's just one of those things it's a relationship that's gonna build itself, you know what I'm saying. And I think all the
Mhm.
dots are gonna eventually connect themselves because like guys that I know even more closely in personal, like D House and stuff like that, like
Mhm.
I've been chopping it up with him and trying to make some clothes for him and his label. So
Mhm.
that's some stuff we got under the wraps, you know what I'm saying. But
I
like
got
that's
you.
just one of the things, you know what I'm saying, that I say, man, just those genuine relationships, you know what I mean? And so
Mhm.
the second time and by the way, like you said, Ryan Hollins, man, like that's somebody I think I would like to get you even like tapped in with, because I talk to
Yeah.
him kind of from time to time now, and obviously he's on the broadcasting stage. So I think
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I
think
just
that's
seen that.
I think that's something that will really, like, what I'm saying, benefit you as well. But yeah,
Okay.
real down to earth, cool guys, man. And then like I said, the second time I went is when I met KPJ. And that guy
Mhm.
there, he's funny, bro. He's a character.
Oh,
KPJ,
word.
he is funny in real life for real. But yeah, no. So just meeting all these guys and hoping to, like, you know what I'm saying, like I've eventually getting to get on the platform or going to hoop with these guys, and like hopefully making clothes with these guys and stuff like that. Because I really want to be that. Like I want to be like the next up and coming guy in the NBA who's like around the NBA who's making clothes for these guys and making designs and doing different things, as well as having my own personal brand, the journey, floating through the league. Because of course, I mean, all those guys that got there obviously went through a journey to get there, and I think that everybody in the league can relate to my brand and what it is I'm trying to push, as far as embracing your journey. So, yep, that's just one of those things.
Absolutely. And I also saw that you have a slight relationship with Corey Brewer as well. And I remember him last year when he played for the next pro league. Did he play? I think he played in 2019 as well.
He did. And that's why that's really my big bro. It was crazy. I had the humbling experience, bro. I think last month it was, to go to New Orleans and play in the Pelicans arena. And
I've seen that,
yeah, man. And that was just a great experience, man. I mean, that obviously sent chills through my body. And then what was crazy is, Corey was there. I knew he was on the staff and stuff like that with New Orleans and stuff, but I didn't know that he would be there. And so like midway through the game, like around halftime, he and some of the Pelicans guys came out and was watching the game. And that was kind of cool because I shouted him out and he shouted me out too. And so he remembered me, and that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to CB and his family and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because after the season, hopefully I'll be linking with him as well. He said he'll be back in Houston, so hopefully he'll be around the next pro league and stuff, and I'll be tapping in with him as well, man. But yeah, that's my bro. That's my big homie, man. It was a cool experience to see him and to see that he's still around the NBA and still trying to, give back and work with some of the younger guys as well. That's what I always love most about him as well, man. Those humbling guys who don't mind giving back and, what I'm saying, assisting their advice. It's a great thing.
Absolutely. When I was interviewing him, I think there was a game after he scored 50 points. And then I asked him a question like, what was your pregame routine? Something I forgot. And he said, I was just chilling with my kids. I was just at the house chilling.
And that's why I said, shout out CB and his fam, because I already know, you know what I'm saying? I don't speak to John on another end in his family, but how personal that connection is he has with his kids. So, you know what I'm saying? I've seen him around his kids a lot, and I've been around his kids, enough to know that, man, that's his pride and joy. So I already know that's really, it's nothing else to it but to be around, you know what I'm saying, your seeds, and then to go out and hoop. Like that's what we live for, you know what I'm saying? So that's
absolutely. Absolutely. A class act guy, man. Class act. So with that being said, with all the people that you named, what would you say is the most important connection that you made? Because it's really important for people to make that right relationship to get them further.
Absolutely. I'd have to say, man, and I've made some pretty genuine connections, man. But I'll be honest. I have to say, Terrence Morris. That's my boy Timo in the Fundy, man. I don't know if you remember Timo. That used to
that name sounds so familiar.
He used to play for the Rockets. Man, and he played on the team.
That's what I remember.
Yeah. So Timo is one of the first professional guys that I really met and built a relationship with. And again, real down to earth, real class act guy, man. Taught me a lot, like helped me navigate through a lot of different things, gave me a lot of different pointers and a lot of different stuff when I was really trying to become an up and coming professional basketball player. And man, like you said, it's just relationships like that. I've always kind of tried to gravitate towards people who obviously are more successful than me or where I want to be in life. You know what I mean? And I've always tried to just—
That's important. That's so
absolutely. I've always tried to just reach out to those people and pick their brains about different things. Obviously they've been through different situations that I haven't yet, so for me, it's important to try to always always receive as much information as possible. Like I think that's where a lot of like young guys fall off and mess up, is they just think they know everything, right? And of course we've all been there, right? Think we just know it all and stuff like that. But there's just so much to learn in life, you know what I'm saying, Will? So I just say, man, always be open and receptive to knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And a lot can come from that, you know what I'm saying? Like I learned a lot just by having an open ear, you know what I'm saying, and trying to listen and just
Mhm.
so yeah, I'd have to say Timo, man, Terrence Morris, man, he's a great guy. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so like we don't really click like that because I'm a Patriots fan, but you
Ah,
know what I'm
I
saying.
see. I
But
see.
in every other aspect in life, though, man, that's my big homie,
And speaking of you being a Patriots fan, I mean, I gotta I don't have no beef with Patriots fans anymore because you know why? 2017. So that should give you a hint of what fan of a team I am. So
man. I already know, man.
okay,
So no
we
hard feelings to you.
good.
No hard feelings to you, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want no smoke, man, with y'all, man. But
I appreciate it. I
no,
appreciate it.
I know that was a hard time, man. So
Whew, it was a
I'm not
lovely
even gonna
time.
press you.
That time was lovely, man. It was I was at my parents' crib jumping up and down. I went with the boys to get a drink. Man, it was a perfect time, man.
Oh man, yeah. So
Uh,
you know, what I'm saying I don't even want to. You know, we don't even gotta. We don't got to choose violence in that regard, but we can.
I got you, bro. I got you. I gotta get some stuff on my chest.
No,
But
I feel you, man. You're
but back,
entitled to that. You're entitled to
but
that.
back to what you're saying, man. Everybody needs some rich partners in their life. If whoever's listening to this that's trying to figure out where to go, have some rich partners or some rich mentors in your life because they will give you a new perspective that you would never think of. And one important lesson that I learned being with somebody that's like kind of wealthy, has a lot of money. His name was what was his name? He used to play for the San Antonio Spurs. His name was like Marquez something, but he has his own production studio.
Okay.
And one of my homeboys, Macbo, he's a rapper. So we went to his house to shoot a video
Okay.
and we were going through his crib. He has a collection of cars through every single movie. Like he has a car from Terminator, he has a car from
What?
yes, like his collection is deep. And once you go into his room, he has a big portrait of Diddy. He got, some musical posters. Like his house is all decked out with
And see what
nothing.
I'm saying? Being around stuff like that is like it's just
Mhm.
motivational. You know what I'm saying? If it
Mhm.
doesn't push you to want to be great or like, you know what I'm saying, be successful, then you know what I'm saying, you got to figure something else out cuz being around that type of
Mhm.
stuff should definitely prompt you and give you that, you know what I'm saying, that kickstart to just want for you to want to be great. Like I don't understand,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying, how people, and I've always just tried to refer to myself as an opportunist, right? And I think,
Mhm.
you know, because man, every opportunity I've ever had, like I probably say my second most important relationship that I built was just with Tracy McGrady. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
he being able to go to his house and like my barber back in the day used to cut his hair. So like being able to
Oh
like
wow.
yeah, and I would be able to go over there and do actual house calls with him. So I would be able to literally drive out there, hoop in his gym, you know what I'm saying? And
That is crazy.
yeah, it
That's
was
absolutely
insane. It
crazy.
was just insane. So like stuff like that, bro. Like I just it's you know like you got to be when opportunity presents itself. You know what I'm saying? You just have to just relish in that. And so for me,
Mhm.
like you know, I think what that's one of the biggest things. You know what I'm saying? Is just always being ready, so you don't have to stay ready.
That's absolutely crazy because TMAC is one of my favorite players ever growing up. I mean, that dude was an absolute killer on the court. And I hate when people get disrespectful about TMAC because nobody can deny when he was fully healthy on the Magic, he was one of the best players in the league, bar none.
Hands down,
Bar
hands
none.
down, hands down, bro. And it's crazy how like you know what I'm saying we have our glow ups. I used to no disrespect, not that T Mac's ugly. I'm saying like
Gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
used they used to call me T Mac literally, and it's probably because I was just a slimmer. They used to call me every slim hooper. That was just, and I had a lazy eye a little bit back
Yeah.
then, you know what I'm saying? So they used to just call me T Mac, and I'm like, and so that was my guy. Like I literally like T Mac was my favorite hooper in the league for like a while. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
he was a real dog out there, and like you know that's one of the things Kobe Bryant said was one of his toughest competitors. T Mac was on his list because he said T
Exactly.
Mac.
People
Yeah,
forget.
he said
People
T Mac was
forget,
going to
man.
blow up. You know what I'm saying? So
But how did that relationship cultivate for you though? Because it's not every day that somebody gets to be close friends with an absolute legend. Like
bro,
it doesn't come
like
through.
listen, man. I it was the most crazy thing. And that's what I mean. Like, I think God has just put me around some crazy opportunities that have been able to propel me and be able to just like really be able to talk about these things going forward and really hold like values from these things. Guys that I've been around, man. So like, yeah, TMAC, bro, my barber, he was like really, really blowing up. And now he's like really, really doing this thing. Obviously, if you can imagine, he started with TMAC. But I mean, like, I don't even know how he got that connect. I think his friend like introduced him to TMAC. But at that point, he knew how much basketball meant to me and stuff. And so he was like, man, T, you know what I'm saying? Just come. My barber had a little baby, a son at the time, a little man, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, T, come along with me, you know what I'm saying? And you can watch him wink, wink while I'm cutting his hair. And I'm like, all right, yeah, bro. Like, I'm like, cool, bro. Like, say no more. So I go and, you know, one of the biggest things after I arrived was trying not to like be like a groupie, right? Because I was like, I was like, bro, I'm like, you know, so listen, we pull up to his house and he just walks outside and he chunks the dudes. I'm like, nah, this ain't happening, bro. Like, we really at Tracy McGrady's house, bro. So I'm like, just like, I walk through the front doors, I'm just looking up. I'm like, yo, this is absolutely insane. Like, and so like he walks me to the back, like he like, what's up? He chopping it up with me. He like, you look like you might can go a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, I could do a little something, you know what I'm saying? And so like he walks me to the like through the kitchen, meet the fam, his wife and kids, you know what I'm saying, and then his dog, and then he walks me to the back. And of course he has a gym in his house, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, TMAC, this is crazy, son. Like, it has a big picture. I got the video still in my phone. Of course, I'll never get rid of those. But just like, man, recording his court and like, man, I mean, weight room above and all kind of craziness. And I'm like, man, this is like a dream come true. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like you and I discussed, like, seeing that is like, man, like,
it's just different.
This
like,
is how I want to like live. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the type of living fit for a king. Like, this is live. Like, so I'm just like, yeah, I definitely am not meant to be normal. At this point, it's things like that like started telling me like God like showing me, like putting me around these people and in these situations that's like preparing me to, like, you know what I'm saying?
I said the same thing a few weeks ago. I'm not made to be normal. That's so crazy. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's like, I don't even mean that to people who choose to be what we consider like normal. Like, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to all the people who get up, go to work, 9 to 5s, work and love their job. I legitimately think that the society is meant to work that way. We have to have those people in place that do love those jobs and love to go to those jobs and do those jobs that we need fulfilled every day. I also just think it's not meant for some people to do so. And I think that's what makes entrepreneurs like such an up and coming thing, because it's allowed people the freedom to just try to really do what they're passionate about doing. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. People that truly know that they're meant for something greater, they feel it inside them. Like when they're doing like a certain task, like when I was working at HEB, I was pushing carts outside, you know, and I was just thinking, man, and it was like 100-something degrees outside. I was just thinking, man, like, damn, am I meant to do this for myself? Like, damn, bro, it's so hot. But man, it's just stuff like this. Like you could just feel like we just meant for something.
Bro, you are not lying, bro. Oh my gosh. And I can just relate so much in that regard, because, like, you know, I served tables, bro, for a really long time, bro. And look, serving tables is you work at the right place, you can make a great living. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody's going and complaining about making $200 to $250 in cash a night in like 4 to 5 hours. That's like,
that's no.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I was working at Benihana, it was great, you know. But
I worked over there. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Man. You know, but I had to work my way up to that creme de la creme, what they would call the creme de la creme of restaurants, though, because, man, like I had been in been in my, you know, fast foods and my Chili's and my, you know, nothing's wrong with Chili's. I love Chili's and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? It just hits a little different when, as a server, when you bring the tab out and you're seeing like $150, $200 tabs as opposed to like 2 for $20s and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a little different. But like,
now for them 2 for $20s though, they still hit.
Shout out to the two. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be rich soon, and I'll still be going to get a 2 for $20 from Tom.
I'm still taking my girl to get that 2 for $20. I am
with
sorry.
the dessert, you can't beat it. I mean, come on, man. But listen, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not the guy. I don't look down on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Still doing their thing. Like I love everybody for who they are and what it is, you know what I'm saying, they bring to the table, and you know, for just at face value for who they are. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real people person in that regard, but it just wasn't it. I learned it just wasn't for me. And you know, who I was waking up being every day, I just felt like I wasn't really living out my full purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I always told myself that's why. Like right now, for example, you know, I just dropped a new set. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, man, it's actually my first set since I've been making my own clothes, and so it's really like a really, really important thing to me, milestone to me, shall I say?
Talk about that for a little bit.
So I actually have one placed here because I was hoping that we could get to this point in which I talked about this, but.
Absolutely,
So these are the shorts here, man. These are the shorts here.
Oh, I like that design.
Yeah, there's some athletic shorts like this, and so obviously, as you can see, it says the journey there, 2020 worldwide, and it has like the eye there. You know what I'm saying? And the eye is like a glitter eye, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? And it has the globe on the inside of the eye. So you know, we're calling this the Journey Vision set. I actually also have a matching t-shirt. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that.
So and I'm gonna have to get you one of those for certain. You know what I'm saying?
I would love it. I would love to. Appreciate
for having me on the show. I appreciate it, man. And so that we're calling that the Journey Vision set, man, because obviously you got the globe and the eye, you know, and we want you to, you know, really see your journey and your vision every day. When you wake up every day, we want that to be the main focus, is for you to embrace that and highlight everything along your journey every day in your vision, in your forefront right there. So that's kind of why we went with that logo, and it's a great, man. Listen, man, I actually want to show you the detail on this too, because you brought up Long Way, and that's why, man, these were so important to me and I was excited about them. I actually have a pair of Long Way shorts that have the zipper. They're basketball shorts, but with the zippers, Brody. And Long Way had dropped some like this. Yeah, man. Long Way had dropped some like this, man. And so when I saw them, I'm like, I gotta have them. And you know, then I got the trim at the bottom to kind of match the, you know, so it's, and then the drawstring. So it's real. And then I put I don't know if you could tell off the camera, but this white circle going around here is puffing off there, man. It's the puff, so it's really like jumping out at you on some 3D stuff, man. So, yeah, man. So I really tried to take my time with this one and really do a number with this one. So and so what I was alluding to was like shorts only $25, shirts
that's $20. A great price.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want I'm not out here. I'm really not. The point I was alluding to before I showed you those was my main thing is really to just, I'm not, if my brand didn't make another dollar, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's really something that I'm just passionate about. You know what I mean? That's what I was getting to in regards to just trying to be an entrepreneur, you know, because like, yeah, I was happy like with my life and just like I'm saying who I am as a person and waking up and going to work every day and being able to create a living for myself. But I didn't feel fulfilled. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? So with this, man, every day I'm on my laptop, working on designs, and every day I'm printing up stuff and cutting different things. And like you hear in the background when we talk, man, it's like
all the time.
I feel like rejuvenated doing these things. And it's something that I'm really passionate about. I love my fashion. I love dressing. I love accessorizing. I mean, I have a bucket hat on in my house. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not even for just like the podcast. Like now, like I be really chilling. This really the vibe I be on all the time. So
Man, just
it's
cozy.
like I really love fashion. You see the spray ground in the background. You know, shout out spray ground. You know what I'm saying? Making me a brand ambassador. You know, they're a great company. You know what I'm saying? So like I just really love fashion, and I really love, you know, that's why I love Russell Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? Because he really is like a fashion genius, a fashion icon. And
absolutely.
So that's kind of like the route I'm really trying to go and navigate. And I would really like to step in the place of like a Virgil. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Virgil. All these legends, Will, that we're losing. You get what I'm saying? Like I just feel like it's my divine purpose to just step right there and fill that void of all those guys we're losing, and try to really reach the young guys and the youth and everybody that I possibly can, and help to really understand. My ultimate goal is to be going places, being a motivational speaker, talking to people, you know what I'm saying? Doing just whatever it is I can to help people just really embrace their journey, man. So I really do feel like, you know, it's really important that, you know, and with everything especially going on in the world, man, that we really just stay focused on what's in front of us, and, you know, love on the people that love us, and just stay true to who we are, stay focused on our vision, and the rest will take care of itself. You know, I think sometimes people get sidetracked on thinking they need more than that. And you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think, you know, and I've been there thinking that I need more than that. And it's not, man. Life is really what you make it. It really is. So, you know, I'm just here to try to just, man, push that narrative and continue along the path that God got for me, man.
And you're pushing it well, brother. You're pushing it extremely well. I'm still stuck on the shorts with the zippers on it. I mean, that's a revelation, man. That's a revelation.
For the 25, bro. And so that's what I'm saying. And I'm not even the type of dude tell your friends, man, everybody who has a journey to hit me up. And I'm not the type of guy who, you know what I'm saying, is like, oh, bro, you got, like, if you don't got it, bro, hey, I can send it. Holla at me. I'm really just trying to get the brand out there. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I can navigate some different things. I'm the boss. I'm the owner. Like, so I can do that. Matter of fact, show me, hand me, let me show you a couple other little designs that I got, man. Just so
we get an exclusive sneak peek on In My Humble Opinion, people. The journey worldwide.
Just some people can see what we're really working on, man. So I got the athletic version of the shorts, like you saw, drawstring zipper. But real kind of lightweight. You can hoop in them, you know what I'm saying, and be fashionable. But I also have like the cotton, you know what I'm saying. Where like the kind of thicker cotton, where they're the more like fashionable, you could wear out, you know what I'm saying. And this is an olive pair here, so you see the eye glistening. You know,
I see the glitter on the eye a little bit now. The way you turn it, I kind of see the glitter.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's an effect that really busts when the light hits, bro. It goes crazy. And look, it's not even the type of glitter, bro, that like you know, a lot of people think glitter and think it's messy and stuff. Like, it's not on your hands or nothing, bro. Like, it's real clean, real neat, like real nice design, bro. So and then we got we got the different color shirts. So this is similar to the black one that I showed you.
That's PV colors right there.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Right there. And actually, I know my lighting is a little off. This is actually blue. If I get a little closer, you can see. Oh, there you go.
I definitely see the blue now.
Yeah, and then you see like I put the blue glitter eye there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
So it's just a few different things I really been, you know what I'm saying, testing out and really trying to like get creative and do, man. And people are really like loving the design and loving the new direction we're going with things. So it's a fun experience, man. It really is. And I really do love creating and designing things. So that makes this like all the more fun to be able to create something, put it on some clothes, and like really bring my idea to life. Like, and then go be able to wear it and people be like, bro, that's fresh. Where'd you get it? And then like that's the most like like the best feeling right there is like, you know, actually being the creator of like the master of my ability, pretty much. Like I can just create and do whatever it is I want. So, and it's not even just like my brand. Like I said, I'm making custom designs for other people. I'm bringing their designs to life. So whatever it is people want, you know what I'm saying? Like I can do it all.
Okay, absolutely. And I'm glad you showed me those shorts too, because well, you mentioned earlier that you were trying to get your brand out to NBA players, and there's some players that's about to do it as we speak. So
Absolutely.
how is that process for you? Like how are you able to get that thing going the way you want it to be?
Man, just really trying to, bro, like I said earlier, be an opportunist. Like I learned growing up that one thing that's so true in life is like it's really not like what you know, is who you know, right? So
Right.
like sometimes, like I said, building those genuine relationships with people that are more successful than you and stuff just can propel you to be in different situations or in the room with different individuals that you may want to be around. You know what I mean? It goes back to what we said earlier. Like I said, just being an opportunist, bro. Being able to be in the room with those guys, I have to try to like be the elephant in the room. You know what I mean? Like I have to try to like stand out and do something. Like I wouldn't necessarily say do something, but I have to just present myself in a way that they know what it is that I'm trying to get out there. You know what I mean? So I always mention the brand. You know what I mean? I always mention the journey. No matter who I'm talking to, I always try to, you know, hint at the fact that everybody has a journey. You know what I'm saying? And I'm literally like a walking representation of myself at all times. At least I try to be. So every time you see me, I try to have something journey related on. And so when I mention the journey and they see that on me, they kind of automatically kind of connect the dots and correlate me with the journey. And so that's just one of the biggest things for me. Like I was literally like when I talked to Kevin Porter, like that's one of the things I mentioned. And so like even with that, like people like Daniel House, like he knows my journey and like he knows what it's taken for me to get there. So like it goes back to what I was saying about just it being about who you know sometimes. You know what I mean? Like Daniel's somebody that I know, so he understands my journey and he knows, you know, everything it took to get there. So for me to have that personal relationship with him and know him, he's going to be able to like also push the narrative to other NBA guys to know, like, you know what I mean? Like this guy's a solid individual and what he's pushing is a legit thing here. You know what I mean? So that's the ultimate goal, is just to kind of get everybody to like get a glimpse at like who I am as a person. And you know what I'm saying? Then they can further understand like how much the journey means to me and like just how relatable it is to them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not like ever trying to be this guy that's like high up and not being able to be touched and everything. Like I always want to be personal. I always want to be like that. Like that's just what I'm aiming to do, because that's who
you always want to give back. Always.
Absolutely, because that's what everybody did for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna sit there. I'm not one of those people who can sit there and be like, nobody told me nothing. I figured it out on my own. Like that's
it's the biggest misconception everybody has. Like, I mean, shoot, God is literally the reason why you're breathing. So what you mean you did it all by yourself?
Come on, man. Come
on now. Like you gotta have help.
Yeah. So literally, and I'm huge on that, bro. Like I never will ever sit there and take all the credit, you know what I'm saying, for anything. Like you have to have a team to do things, and God said it best in the Bible, like it takes a village to raise a child, you know what I'm saying? So like it always takes the different elements in place to, you know what I'm saying, shape a person and make them who they are, you know what I'm saying? So I just always say, man, like that's why I always say like help is imperative. Like
exactly,
have an open ear at all times and be receptive to knowledge at all times, for sure.
And like you said too, like you're not supposed to take all the credit, because in reality it takes a lot of help for you to get where you at. I mean, the last year when I did the pro league, I brought my company Unfiltered Media to help be the media presence for the next pro league.
Right.
I brought all the guys out.
That's real.
I was one doing the interviews. My boy Jamel, he wrote articles for almost every single player in the league, explaining their backstory. My boy Byron, he did social media. Jabari, he does filming. Like it takes 4 of us to make everything work. And I just delivered a knockout punch when I did the interviews. I can't do that by myself.
Come on, man. Man, have you ever just really sat there at the end of a movie and just watched all the credits and everybody's name who pops up that goes into making that movie possible, bro? Like,
man, people don't realize it. No.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I mean. Like, literally, people throw the term around like my life is a movie. Like, nah, like I'm really trying to like live that and embody that. Like my life is legit a movie, and it's like starring me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But everybody that I've encountered along my life, and everybody that I've met and built genuine relationships, including you, including yourself, you guys are also stars in the movie. Like, I couldn't possibly be me without all you guys. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Without everybody in place who gave me those tools and those tidbits to make me who I am. So, man, I always just say, you know, like, give credit where credit is due, give people their flowers while they're here. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to saying, like, we lost a lot of people, man, in the last year, in the last 2 years, in the last 3 years. Like, a lot of very important people in society, you know what I'm saying, who really mean a lot to a lot of people. So
yeah, life is very fragile, man. Too fragile.
I just said that today. I said life is such a precious, delicate thing, man. It really is. And I think, you know, when everybody begins to realize that, like, we're not cats, like, we don't have 9 lives, like, you know what I'm saying, unless you like 50 Cent or something. Like, nah, I'm just playing. But like, nah, like, but
not for real though.
But yeah, no, but really though, man, like, life is such a fragile, delicate thing. And so, you know, that's why for me, the journey again is so important, because like what you do along your journey while you're here is going to shape, you know, the legacy you leave while you're gone. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
And people like Nipsey and X and stuff like that, like, they left a heck of a legacy. You know what I mean? Like, man, like,
that's what it's all about, though. You got to make sure your imprint is felt wherever you go, and that's a big thing I always take from that. But last question, dog, and it's something I'll always ask my guests, because I feel like it's really important as not only African American males, but just people in society that go through the trials and tribulations of life. And one thing I want to ask you is, what would be the biggest advice you would tell to your 13-year-old self? Because there was a lot of times that people feel like they're not what they're supposed to be. They feel like they're behind, but in reality, we're achieving our 13-year-old's dreams. So what would you tell them right now if you see them?
That's deep, Will. That's deep, Will. I like that question a lot. And it's easy for me, no brainer. Go into everything with a level head. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to be reactive instead of like just like thinking things through, and like even on the basketball court, like I would allow my temper at times, or a bad call or something like that, to like make me like trip out, and it might take me out of my game, and you know what I'm saying, take me away from the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? So I'd say, man, what I would tell my 13-year-old self is just always take a step back and look at the bigger picture, man. Because like, you know, I do think that things could have gone differently for me in different situations when I was younger, like in AAU and stuff, when there were scouts there and stuff like that. And I allow my passion to like negatively affect my game as opposed to turn it into a positive. You know what I mean? Right. So that's definitely what I would say, man, is to just, you know, look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture for me would have just been to just keep my attitude in check at all times. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I try to like really pride myself now on being just a real cool, calm, collective, like even keel guy, like, and not really get too high and too low about things. You know what I'm saying? Because different things are going to come about in life. You know what I'm saying? And you just have to it's all about how you bounce back from them. That shapes who you are and you as your character. So that's definitely what I would tell my 13-year-old self, bro, is just to, you know, be cautious about the way you move and just look at the bigger picture in regards to everything.
That's some deep stuff, though. That's some absolutely deep stuff, bro. But Terry, this has been one of my enjoyable interviews I ever did, because we were able to break down life. We were able to break down past experiences, be an entrepreneur, so we could relate a little more. Like, I really enjoyed this interview, man.
No, this was great, man. This is great. I needed this, you know what I'm saying? And it was definitely good to tap in with you and be able to just, you know what I'm saying, spill over some of those things that I've encountered and gone through, man. And just kind of try to shed light on that to the world, man. So yeah, I appreciate you, bro, and I appreciate you for even, you know, allowing this platform, man.
Absolutely, man. Anything I could do. And I definitely need those shorts with the zippers on it because, man, I'll tell you, it's innovative, bro. It's just, hey.
No, I definitely got you, my bro. What size you wear?
Extra large.
I got you, my bro. Say less, my bro. That'll be on me, man. That'll be on me. I got you.
Man, I really appreciate it. And guys, I appreciate you guys for stopping by for another episode of In My Humble Opinion. I will catch you guys next time.